I was recently inspired by the day 3 topic, Cover Letters Matter, from So You Want to Be Prod's Land the Job Prod Summer Camp series. So I wanted to share a couple of quick anecdotes about cover letters, both from the hiring perspective and from the job seeking perspective. I've been in production for a decade now, and as such, I've been part of a lot of hiring processes. I remember once when I was hiring production staff during the height of pandemic madness, where everyone was hiring. It was really tough to get people in the door, and it was super competitive among studios. At the time, we were essentially desperate to get production staff in the door. And still, despite the immense pressure and desperate need to hire more crew fast, we were still carefully reviewing all of the applications, very much including cover letters. At the time, we had a few recurring habits. First, if a cover letter had obvious mistakes, such as naming the wrong position, submitting the exact same cover letter for two different postings or positions, or not seeming to understand where our studio was in the world, it was pretty much an automatic pass. Second, the person I was hiring with at the time, my line producer and I, agreed that skill didn't really matter. You can teach almost everything in production. What we wanted from a cover letter was a sense of fit and personality. Would this person fit well with our team? What kind of attitude did they have towards work? Could they bring something to the table that our current management team lacked? Lastly, at the time, hiring was so competitive that we were frequently considering people who had never worked in animation before. These persons were looking to make a career transition into animation. Cover letters in this case were key for us to understand how their skills gleaned in, say, sales, healthcare, public service, etc., were relevant and applicable to a production role in animation. Often, when we looked at these applicants on LinkedIn, their LinkedIn was just a resume. It didn't tell us much about their particular skill sets or flesh out how these experiences could be made to work for animation. Cover letters were critical in filling in those gaps for us. And now for the job seeking side. As animation has been in a bit of a downturn again, I have been applying for jobs outside of animation for the first time in my adult life. I've been carefully constructing cover letters and building resumes tailored to each position I'm applying to in order to explain how my project management and crew leadership skills gleaned in animation might apply to roles in other industries. My diligence has paid off. I recently had an interview in a completely different industry wherein the interviewer explicitly told me that it was my cover letter specifically that sealed the deal. They otherwise skimmed my resume and didn't even look at my LinkedIn. They said my cover letter was informative, interesting, funny, and provoked just enough curiosity that they understood the professional experience I brought to the table and wanted to learn more about my career goals. Now, to be completely transparent, applying to a job in a new-to-me industry takes me, on average, 2 hours per application. I do not use AI tools such as ChatGPT for my resumes or my cover letters. I do the work myself. I spend this 2 hours tinkering with my resume and cover letter, ensuring that my skill set and interests written in these documents matches what the job description is asking for. I have the skill set, it just depends on the job for how much emphasis I put on a given task or particular area of skill. Sometimes my skills with production reports matter most. Sometimes it's about tracking shot and ad-set data. Sometimes I spend more time talking about crew management and leadership. Other times I focus a lot on data entry and email etiquette. I also want to emphasize that as I have been applying for jobs all summer, I do have an arsenal built up of different resumes, cover letters, and so on. I found that when it's an entirely new role, like when I'm starting from scratch, honestly, an application takes me about 5 hours to build. As So You Want to Be Proud reminds us, cover letters do matter. And in this video, I have shown in my personal experience how cover letters have impacted me when I was hiring, and more recently, how I have used cover letters myself during my own job search in order to get hired somewhere new. It's a lot of work, but I have taken immense comfort in the feedback I received in that one interview. The pains I took to write a custom cover letter and make a relevant resume was worth it. A good cover letter got me the opportunity for an interview.